Look around your home right now. See that plant sitting in the corner? What if I told you it's in the wrong spot, and that mistake is costing you thousands of dollars every single month? I know that sounds crazy, but stay with me, because what I'm about to share changed someone's life in less than 24 hours. And by the end of this video, you'll know the exact spot to place one specific plant that could completely transform your financial reality. But first, let me tell you about Clara. Clara was drowning, not in water, but in bills, stress, and this constant feeling that no matter how hard she worked, money just slipped away. For 8 months, she had this beautiful snake plant sitting proudly next to her bathroom door. It looked perfect there, added a nice touch of green to an otherwise boring hallway. But here's what she didn't know: that exact placement was creating an energetic black hole in her home. Every bit of prosperity trying to enter was getting sucked straight down the drain. Literally. During those 8 months, her promised promotion got delayed indefinitely. Her freelance clients ghosted her. Even her savings account was bleeding money faster than she could explain. She felt like she was running on a treadmill, going absolutely nowhere. Then one random Tuesday evening, exhausted and scrolling through YouTube at 2 in the morning, she stumbled across a video about snake plants and Feng Shui. Now, Clara was skeptical. She didn't believe in mystical stuff. But she was also desperate, so she thought, what do I have to lose? She moved her plant. That's it. Just picked it up and moved it to the left side of her front door. The next morning, she woke up to an email that made her cry. Her company was giving her an unexpected salary adjustment. Not just any adjustment. A substantial raise, effective immediately. She was one of only 3 employees selected. Coincidence? Maybe. But wait, over the next 3 weeks, 2 former clients she hadn't heard from in months reached out with new projects. Her side business Instagram suddenly started getting traction, and she found a $200 utility refund she'd completely forgotten about. One plant, one move. Her entire financial energy shifted. Now, before you think this is some kind of magic spell, let me be clear, this isn't about magic. It's about something far more powerful: energy flow. See, your home isn't just 4 walls and furniture. It has an invisible signature, an energetic fingerprint that's either working for you or against you every single day. Think about it. Have you ever walked into someone's house and immediately felt off, even though everything looked clean and organized, or stepped into a space that just felt like a warm hug? That's energy. And it's real. Ancient Feng Shui masters understood something that modern science is only now beginning to prove: the way energy flows through your space directly impacts your mood, your decisions, your relationships, and yes, your bank account. And here's where most people screw it up. They choose plant placement based on one thing. Does it look good there? Does it match the couch? Does it get enough sunlight? Does it fit in that empty corner? These are good questions, but they're incomplete. The real question should be, is this placement supporting or sabotaging my home's energy flow? A snake plant next to your bathroom. It looks beautiful, but it's also sitting in the exact spot where prosperity energy drains away. A snake plant facing your bed seems like a nice natural touch, but those sharp sword-like leaves are pumping active energy at you while you're trying to rest, disrupting your sleep and recovery. You're not decorating wrong. You're just missing the invisible layer that makes all the difference. So why the snake plant specifically? Walk into any garden center and you'll see hundreds of beautiful plants: pothos, peace lilies, monstars, fiddle leaf figs, each one gorgeous in its own way. But ancient wisdom singles out the snake plant as one of the most potent tools for attracting wealth and protection. Here's why. First, look at its structure. Those leaves grow straight up like swords pointing to the heavens. In Feng Shui philosophy, this represents yang energy, the active, dynamic force associated with growth, action, and forward momentum. Ancient masters believed these leaves function as energy antennas, drawing beneficial chen down from the cosmos and anchoring it into your home. They also act as protective barriers, cutting through stagnant energy and deflecting negative forces before they can settle in your space. Second, this plant is ridiculously resilient. It survives in low light. It forgives you when you forget to water it. It thrives under conditions that would kill most houseplants. In Feng Shui, this resilience is deeply significant. A plant that flourishes under challenging conditions transfers that same quality of endurance and stability to your household. But here's where it gets really interesting. Modern science has discovered something ancient wisdom always knew. The snake plant releases oxygen at night, not carbon dioxide like most plants. It's actively purifying your air, even while you sleep. It absorbs toxins like formaldehyde and benzene, creating a cleaner, healthier environment. But according to Feng Shui practitioners, it doesn't just clean air, it cleans energy. Just as it filters physical toxins, it filters energetic toxins, stress, negativity, chaos, and confusion. When properly placed, the snake plant becomes a living, breathing guardian of your home's prosperity. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. All of this power remains completely dormant if the plant isn't positioned correctly. A guardian standing in the wrong place can't protect anything. An antenna pointed in the wrong direction won't receive the signal. So let me show you the 5 most powerful positions in your home where this remarkable plant can actually work its magic. Position number 1 is the Azure Dragon's Gate, the left side of your front door. Picture your front door from the outside, as if you're a visitor arriving at your own home. Now look to the left side of that door. That spot right there is called the Azure Dragon's Gate, and it's one of the most critical energy points in your entire home. Here's why this matters. Your front door isn't just an entrance. In Feng Shui, it's called the mouth of Qi, the primary portal through which universal energy flows into your living space. Everything good that happens in your home, every opportunity, every financial breakthrough, every meaningful connection first enters through this portal. Now, think about this logically. If your front door is the mouth, then what happens at the mouth determines what nourishes the body, right? The left side of this entrance, when viewed from outside, is governed by the Azure Dragon, one of the 4 celestial guardians in Chinese metaphysics. The Azure Dragon represents strength, growth, rising fortune, and protective power. It's the guardian of new beginnings and expanding opportunities. When you place a snake plant in this position, you're essentially activating the dragon. You're giving this celestial protector a physical anchor point in your home, a living representative that stands guard 24 hours a day. Here's what happens energetically when you get this placement right. The snake plant's upward-reaching leaves create a welcoming yet protective energy field. Positive Shui flows in freely, attracted by the plant's vibrant living energy. Negative or chaotic Shui hits those sword-like leaves and either gets deflected away or gets filtered and purified before entering your space. Think of it like having a bouncer at an exclusive club. The right people get in smoothly. The wrong people don't make it past the door. But there's more to this than just protection. The Azure Dragon position is also associated with growth and expansion. When you activate this spot with a strong, healthy snake plant, you're essentially telling the universe, I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to welcome new opportunities. Now, let's get practical about the placement, because details matter in Feng Shui. Stand outside your front door as if you're about to enter. The left side from this outside perspective is your target zone. If you have space, place the plant about 1 to 3 feet from the door frame, not blocking the path, but clearly defining the energy boundary. Height matters too. Ideally, your snake plant should be in a pot that brings the top of the leaves to somewhere between your waist and chest height when you're standing. This creates the optimal energy field. Too low, and it can't effectively guard the space. too high and it might feel overwhelming. Use a pot that feels substantial and grounded. Terracotta, ceramic, or quality resin works well. Avoid cheap plastic if possible. The container is the foundation of your energy anchor, and it should reflect stability and permanence. The Azure Dragon position works best when it receives gentle morning sunlight. If your door faces east or southeast, this is perfect. If not, don't worry. The snake plant is remarkably adaptable. Just ensure it gets some indirect light during the day. And here's what to avoid. Don't place the snake plant behind a shoe rack, coat stand, or clutter pile. The energy needs to flow freely around the plant. Also, don't let the plant's leaves touch the door when it opens. There should be comfortable clearance for both the door and the energy flow. Here's a powerful weekly ritual. Once a week, ideally on Monday morning, to set your energy for the week ahead, gently wipe the leaves with a soft, damp cloth. This isn't just about keeping dust away. It's an intentional ritual that clears stagnant energy and renews your connection to the plant's protective power. Let me share a real example. Marcus, a small business owner, was struggling to attract new clients. His website was good, his services were solid, but somehow opportunities just weren't knocking on his door. After learning about the Azure Dragon position, he placed a healthy snake plant on the left side of his office entrance. Within 2 weeks, a former client he hadn't heard from in over a year reached out with a major project referral. The following month, he received an unexpected invitation to speak at an industry conference, which led to 3 new high-value clients. Marcus jokes now that his snake plant has better networking skills than he does. The Azure Dragon's Gate is your first line of defense and your primary invitation to prosperity. Get this placement right, and you've taken the single most important step in transforming your home's energy. Position number 2 is the wealth corner, your living room's hidden gold mine. Walk into your living room and stand near the main entrance to that room. It doesn't have to be a formal doorway. It can be the main opening where you naturally enter the space. Stand there and face into the room. Now look diagonally across to the farthest corner. That corner, the one that might currently have a lamp, a side table, or maybe nothing at all, that quiet, unassuming spot is called the wealth corner in Feng Shui, and it's one of the most powerful yet most neglected energy zones in your entire home. In traditional Feng Shui terminology, this is known as the immovable wealth position. Let me explain why this corner is so significant and why placing a snake plant there can create a dramatic shift in your financial reality. Energy flows through your home like water through a landscape. It enters through doors and windows, circulates through rooms, and ideally settles and accumulates in certain beneficial spots. The diagonal corner of your living room is one of these natural collection points. Think of it like a pond in a garden. Water flows in from various sources, moves around the garden, and then settles in the pond where it becomes still, deep, and nourishing. The wealth corner works the same way. Qi flows in, circulates through your living space, and naturally settles in this far corner. But here's the critical part. Just because Qi settles there doesn't mean it automatically becomes wealth. Qi that depends on what you do with the space. If this corner is cluttered with boxes, old magazines, or ignored junk, the settling Qi becomes stagnant and heavy. It's like having a pond that collects debris and becomes murky. If the corner is completely empty and ignored, Qi settles there briefly, but then dissipates like water evaporating from a shallow puddle. But when you place a snake plant in this corner, something remarkable happens. The plant acts as both a container and an activator. Its presence gives the settling Qi something to interact with, a living energy field that holds it in place while keeping it fresh and active. Imagine planting a beautiful lotus in that garden pond. The water doesn't just sit there anymore. It becomes part of a living ecosystem. The lotus roots anchor into the bottom, the stems reach upward, and the flowers bloom on the surface. The pond transforms from a static puddle into a thriving center of life. That's exactly what happens when you place a snake plant in your wealth corner. The chi doesn't just settle and stagnate, it settles, gets purified by the plant's energy, and then radiates back out into your living space as stabilized prosperity energy. Here's what people often report after activating their wealth corner with a snake plant. Financial stability, unexpected income streams seem to appear. It might be a tax refund you forgot about, a side gig opportunity, a gift, or even finding money you'd misplaced. The energy shift seems to open channels for money to find its way to you. Reduced financial anxiety. Even when the bank account numbers don't change immediately, there's a psychological shift. The constant worry about money softens. You feel more confident in your ability to handle financial challenges. Family harmony around money. This is a big one. Many people notice that arguments about finances decrease. Family members seem more cooperative about budgeting and spending decisions. It's as if the calm, stable energy of the plant influences everyone in the household. Better financial decisions. With clearer thinking and less anxiety, you naturally make smarter choices about money. You're less likely to make panic purchases or fear-based decisions. Instead, you approach financial matters with a calm, strategic mindset. Now, let's get specific about how to set up your wealth corner for maximum effectiveness. Remember, you're looking diagonally across from the main entrance to your living room. In a square or rectangular room, this will be one of the two far corners. If you're not sure which corner is the wealth corner, choose the one that feels more tucked away and protected. The wealth corner should feel like a place where energy would naturally settle, not a place where it's constantly disturbed by traffic flow. Before you place your snake plant, completely clean this corner, remove any clutter, dust thoroughly, and if possible, wash the baseboards and walls. You're creating a fresh, energetic foundation. Some Feng Shui practitioners recommend burning sage or Palo Santo in this corner first to clear any old, stagnant energy. For the wealth corner, you want a healthy, robust snake plant. This isn't the place for a struggling or newly propagated plant. Choose one with multiple strong stalks and vibrant coloring. The plant should feel substantial and established. The pot matters here. Choose something that feels prosperous and substantial. Rich earth tones work well. Deep terracotta, warm browns, or even a deep green. Some people like to use gold or copper-toned containers to amplify the wealth symbolism. Make sure the pot has drainage because symbolically, you don't want wealth energy sitting in standing water, which represents stagnation. Place the plant so it's visible from the main entrance to the room, but not blocking any pathways. The energy needs to flow around it freely. If you have a corner shelf or small side table, that's perfect. Otherwise, a floor placement works beautifully. The plant should rise to approximately waist to chest height. Here's where you can amplify the wealth corner's power. Consider adding a citrine crystal next to the pot. Citrine is known in crystal healing as the merchant's stone, believed to attract abundance and maintain positive energy flow. Even if you're skeptical about crystals, the golden color alone reinforces wealth symbolism. Place a small piece of obsidian or black tourmaline on the other side of the pot. These dark protective stones are believed to absorb negative energy and prevent wealth from leaking away. They create an energetic boundary around your abundance zone. If your wealth corner is particularly dim or feels closed off, place a small mirror behind or beside the plant. In Feng Shui, mirrors can expand a space and double the energy. Just make sure the mirror reflects something pleasant, not clutter or a bathroom door. Here's what to avoid in your wealth corner. No trash cans. Never place garbage near your wealth corner. Symbolically, you're throwing wealth away. No dying plants. If your snake plant starts to struggle, address it immediately or replace it. A dying plant in the wealth corner represents dying prosperity. No water features. This might seem counterintuitive since water represents wealth in Feng Shui, but in the wealth corner specifically, still water can create stagnation. Save water features for other areas. No clutter pile up. This corner must stay clean and clear. Don't let it become a dumping ground for things you don't know where to put. Every Sunday evening, spend 2 minutes in your wealth corner, wipe the plant's leaves clean, check the soil moisture, and remove any dust from the surrounding area. As you do this, visualize your financial goals. See yourself living with abundance, security, and generosity. This isn't just plant care, it's prosperity programming. Let me share another story that illustrates the power of the wealth corner. Jennifer had been trying to save money for 2 years to start an online business. Despite good intentions, something always came up. Car repairs, unexpected medical bills, family emergencies. Her savings account never got past a few $100s before something drained it again. After learning about the wealth corner, she realized that spot in her living room was home to a massive pile of unsorted paperwork, old magazines, and her kids' outgrown toys waiting to be donated. The energy couldn't have been worse. She spent an afternoon completely clearing the corner, then placed a beautiful snake plant there, along with a citrine crystal she'd had sitting in a drawer for years. She didn't expect much, honestly, but she committed to maintaining the space and checking in with the plant every Sunday. 3 weeks later, her sister-in-law unexpectedly repaid a $500 loan Jennifer had written off years ago. A month after that, Jennifer received a small inheritance from a distant aunt she barely remembered. 2 months in, her husband's company gave him a bonus they hadn't anticipated. Within 4 months, Jennifer had saved more money than she'd managed in the previous 2 years. She finally launched her business. And interestingly, one of her first clients found her through a referral from her sister-in-law, the same one who had repaid the old loan. Coincidence? Pattern recognition. The placebo effect of focused intention. Call it what you want. Jennifer calls it her wealth corner miracle, and she's never let that corner get cluttered again. The wealth corner is powerful because it combines 2 critical elements: proper energy placement and consistent attention. When you care for this space, you're training your mind to care about prosperity. You're creating a daily reminder that abundance is important to you and that focus has a way of manifesting in surprising ways. Position number 3 is the sacred altar, balancing divine energy with earthly protection. Now we move into territory that's deeply spiritual and perhaps not relevant to everyone watching this video. But if you maintain a wealth altar, meditation space, or sacred corner in your home, this positioning is absolutely critical. In many Asian households, and increasingly in Western homes practicing mindfulness and manifestation, there's a dedicated space for spiritual practice. This might be an altar with deity statues, a meditation cushion area, a manifestation vision board, or simply a shelf where you keep meaningful spiritual items. This space represents the meeting point between the human and divine realms. It's where intention becomes prayer, where focus becomes meditation, where desire becomes manifestation. In energetic terms, it's one of the most concentrated power spots in your entire home. But power without protection is vulnerable. That's where the snake plant comes in. The traditional Feng Shui approach calls for placing a snake plant on each side of your sacred space, creating a living gateway. These plants serve multiple functions. They act as energetic guardians. Just as the snake plant guards your front door from external negative energy, the plants flanking your altar guard your sacred space from internal disturbances. Your spiritual practice deserves a protected container where energy can build without being scattered by daily chaos. They work as yin-yang balancers. Spiritual spaces tend to be very yin in nature, quiet, still, receptive, and internal. The snake plant's natural yang energy creates balance, ensuring that your spiritual practice doesn't become so passive that it disconnects from real-world action. Balance is key. You want to be both spiritually open and practically grounded. They function as energy amplifiers. When your intentions are clear and your prayers or manifestations are focused, the plants act like energetic amplifiers, broadcasting your intentions more clearly into the universal field. Think of them as spiritual antenna towers, helping your signal reach farther, and they serve as symbolic gatekeepers. Visually, two plants flanking an altar create the image of a gateway or doorway. Psychologically, this reinforces that when you approach your sacred space, you're crossing a threshold. You're leaving the ordinary world and entering a space of heightened awareness and possibility. Here's how to set this up effectively. Symmetry is essential. Unlike other positions where one plant works fine, the altar position specifically requires two plants. They should be as similar as possible in size, shape, and health. This symmetry creates energetic balance and visual harmony. The plants should be substantial enough to create a sense of boundary, but not so large that they dwarf your sacred items or block your view. Generally, plants that rise to about the same height as your altar or slightly lower work best. The plants should be close enough to frame the space, but not so close that they make the altar feel crowded. Leave at least 6 inches of clear space between the plants and any sacred objects. Energy needs room to move. Because this is a sacred space, the containers matter more than in other positions. Choose pots that feel ceremonial and intentional. Many people use matching pots in white, cream, gold, or deep earth tones. The pots themselves become part of the sacred aesthetic. Consider placing these protective items near the base of each plant, a small dish or ring of white sea salt or Himalayan salt near each plant. Salt is one of the oldest and most universal purification elements. It absorbs negative energy and creates a protective boundary. Replace the salt monthly, especially if it starts to feel heavy or looks discolored. This might sound strange to Western practitioners, but in many Asian traditions, garlic is a powerful energetic cleanser. Place 3 to 9 whole peeled garlic cloves near the base of each plant. Replace them when they start to yellow or dry out. The garlic is believed to absorb spiritual negativity and protect against ill intentions. Place a clear quartz crystal point between each plant and the altar, with the point facing the altar. Quartz is considered a universal energy amplifier and will magnify your prayers and intentions. Because this is a sacred space, your plant care becomes a spiritual practice. Before you water or clean the plants, take a moment to center yourself. You might say a short prayer, take 3 deep breaths, or simply set a clear intention. Then care for the plants with the same reverence you'd bring to any spiritual ritual. This isn't just gardening, it's an act of devotion to your own prosperity practice. Here are some important cautions. Never block the altar. The plants should frame the space, not hide it. Anyone approaching the altar should have a clear view of the sacred items. Keep the view clear. If you have deity statues or spiritual images on your altar, make sure they're not obscured by the plants. In Feng Shui, blocking the eyes of protective deities or spiritual symbols is considered disrespectful and can weaken the altar's power. Respect your tradition. Different spiritual traditions have different rules about what can and cannot be placed near sacred items. Make sure that adding plants aligns with your practice. When in doubt, consult with a spiritual teacher or leader from your tradition. Let me share a story about the power of protected sacred space. David was practicing daily manifestation rituals for 6 months with minimal results. He had a small altar in his bedroom with vision board images, a few crystals, and some candles. He was dedicated and consistent, but nothing seemed to manifest. One day, a Feng Shui consultant friend visited and immediately noticed that David's sacred space had no energetic boundary. It was right next to his closet door, which banged open and closed multiple times a day. The chaotic daily energy was constantly disrupting his manifestation field. David rearranged the room slightly and placed 2 matching snake plants on either side of his altar, along with small bowls of white salt. He also moved the altar away from the closet door to a more protected corner. The shift was remarkable. Within 3 weeks, David noticed that his meditation practice deepened significantly. He could focus better and felt more connected during his manifestation sessions. Within 2 months, he landed a promotion he'd been visualizing. Within 4 months, he met someone who would become a significant romantic partner. David attributes the change not to magic, but to energetic coherence. By protecting and honoring his sacred space, he was able to build and maintain the energetic focus necessary for manifestation. The snake plants created a container where his intentions could accumulate power instead of being scattered by daily chaos. If you maintain a sacred space, don't underestimate the importance of energetic protection. Your spiritual practice is your most valuable asset for creating the life you desire. Protect it, honor it, and watch it transform from wishful thinking into manifest reality. Position number 4 is the command center, your work desk for financial focus and strategic clarity. Let's shift from the spiritual to the practical. Your work desk, whether in a home office or a corner of your living room, is where financial reality gets created. It's where you make decisions, solve problems, manage money, and build your career or business. In Feng Shui terms, your desk represents your command position. It's your power center, your strategic headquarters, your financial engine room. And just like any engine, it performs better when it's well maintained and properly fueled with the right energy. Here's what most people don't realize. Your desk isn't just collecting papers and coffee cups, it's collecting energy. Every email you read, every stressful call you take, every difficult decision you make leaves an energetic residue. Over time, this can create a heavy, sluggish field that makes focus difficult and good decisions harder. This is where a strategically placed snake plant becomes invaluable. On your desk, the snake plant serves multiple critical functions. Modern research suggests that snake plants can help absorb electromagnetic radiation emitted by computers, monitors, phones, and tablets. While the science is still developing, the principle is sound. Plants interact with their environment in ways we're only beginning to understand. Whether it's truly absorbing EMF or simply creating a psychological buffer, having a natural element near electronic devices feels calming. The snake plant's strong, upright structure is believed to stabilize the yang energy of your workspace. Yang energy is active, alert, and focused. When you're trying to solve a complex problem or make an important financial decision, you need strong yang energy. A drooping or sprawling plant might be beautiful elsewhere, but on your desk you want something that stands at attention, mirroring the mental state you're trying to achieve. In Feng Shui, the sharp, decisive lines of the snake plant's leaves are associated with clarity and determination. When you're hesitating about a career move, unsure about a business investment, or procrastinating on an important task, having that visual reminder of decisiveness nearby can subtly influence your mindset. You start to embody the plant's energy, clear, direct, and confident. Let's be honest, work is stressful. Financial decisions are stressful. Having a living plant on your desk creates a psychological moment of relief. When you're feeling overwhelmed, you can glance at the plant, maybe touch a leaf and reconnect with something natural and alive. That micro moment of connection can lower stress hormones and help you return to your task with fresh perspective. Now, let's talk about strategic placement for your desk snake plant. In traditional Feng Shui, the eastern direction governs health, family, and new beginnings, while the southeast governs wealth and abundance. If you can position a small snake plant in the east or southeast corner of your desk surface, you're tapping into these beneficial energy flows. How do you find these directions on your desk? Use a compass app on your phone, stand facing your desk as if you're working, then identify which corner represents east or southeast. That's where your plant should go. If directional placement isn't practical, and for many people, it's not, the next best spot is immediately next to your computer monitor. This serves the dual purpose of creating a visual break from screen time and positioning the plant where it can do its EMF absorption work. For a desk, you want a small to medium plant, too large, and it will dominate your workspace and might feel overwhelming. Too small, and it won't have enough energetic presence to make a difference. Ideally, the plant should be between 6 to 12 inches tall and contained in a pot that fits comfortably in a corner or beside your monitor without crowding your actual work area. On a desk, the container should be professional and clean lined. Consider ceramic, stone, or quality resin in colors that complement your work environment. White, gray, black, earth tones, or even metallic finishes. Avoid overly decorative or distracting containers. This is a workspace, and everything should support focus, not fragment it. Here's a practice that can transform your entire work week. Every Monday morning, before you even check your email, perform this quick ritual. Take a damp, soft cloth and gently wipe each leaf of your snake plant. As you do this, visualize wiping away the previous week's stress, challenges, and frustrations. Imagine the plant absorbing and transmuting all that old energy. Next, water the plant if needed, but even if it doesn't need water, just check the soil with your finger. This physical connection grounds you and reminds you that growth requires consistent care. Finally, speak a simple intention out loud or in your mind. This week I work with clarity, confidence, and success. Opportunities flow easily to me, and I make wise decisions that support my prosperity. This might feel silly at first, but give it 4 weeks. You'll likely notice that you start Monday mornings with more focus and less anxiety. The ritual creates a psychological boundary between weekend energy and work energy, and the physical act of caring for the plant centers your nervous system. Here's what to avoid on your work desk. If your snake plant starts struggling, take immediate action. A declining plant on your desk symbolizes declining work energy and can subconsciously impact your confidence and motivation. In Feng Shui, your desk should be in the command position, which means you can see the door to your office or work area while seated. Never position the snake plant in a way that it's behind your back. Energy should support you from the sides or front, not push from behind. If your desk is so covered with papers, equipment, and clutter that adding a plant makes it even more chaotic, deal with the clutter first. A snake plant can't help if it's just adding to visual noise. Here's a powerful example of desk placement in action. Rachel worked from home as a freelance financial consultant. Her desk was perpetually cluttered. Her stress levels were through the roof, and despite having plenty of clients, she was barely keeping her head above water financially. She made decent money, but seemed to spend it as fast as it came in, often on stress-related impulse purchases. After a particularly difficult week, she decided to completely reset her workspace. She decluttered ruthlessly, organized her files, and placed a small snake plant in the southeast corner of her desk with a citrine crystal beside it. The change wasn't instant, but it was steady. Within the first week, Rachel noticed she could focus for longer periods without getting distracted. Within a month, she realized she'd stopped making those impulse purchases that had been draining her account. Within 3 months, she'd saved more money than she had in the previous year. But here's the most interesting part. Rachel started attracting higher quality clients. Not more clients necessarily, but better ones. Clients who paid on time, respected her boundaries, and referred others. When she looked back, she realized the shift began right around the time she created that intentional, organized workspace with her snake plant as a daily reminder of clarity and purpose. Your desk is where you spend hours every day, making decisions that impact your financial future. Don't underestimate the power of optimizing that space energetically. A small snake plant might seem like a minor addition, but it represents something much larger: your commitment to working in alignment with prosperity rather than against it. Position number 5 is the energy highway, anchoring flow at your staircase. Here's an area that most people completely overlook when thinking about home energy. The staircase. And yet in multi-level homes, The staircase might be one of the most energetically significant features you have. Think about the function of a staircase. It's a vertical highway that connects different levels of your home. Energy doesn't just stay on one floor, it moves up and down constantly, following the architectural pathways you've created. And staircases, by their very nature, create rapid vertical movement. In Feng Shui philosophy, this creates a specific problem. Energy rushing up or down stairs too quickly can destabilize your home's overall chid. It's like having a river that flows too fast through your property. Yes, moving water is good, but when it rushes past without pausing, it can't nourish the land. It just erodes and escapes. Here's what can happen when staircase energy is unbalanced. Financial instability. Money seems to come and go rapidly without accumulating. You might get a windfall and wonder where it went a month later. The energy rushes in and rushes out. Just like the qi on your stairs, emotional volatility. Family members experience more mood swings and emotional ups and downs. The rapid energy movement creates an atmosphere of instability that affects everyone psychologically. Constant busyness without progress. You feel like you're always rushing, always moving, but not actually getting anywhere meaningful. Your life mirrors the energy pattern. Lots of motion, not much accumulation. Family conflicts. Arguments seem to escalate quickly and blow up out of proportion. The rushing energy on the stairs creates a home atmosphere where small issues rapidly become big problems. The solution is elegant and simple. Place a snake plant at the base of your staircase or on a landing to anchor and stabilize the energy flow. When you place a snake plant at the base of stairs, you're creating an energetic anchor point. The plant's steady, rooted presence slows down the qi just enough to give it stability without stopping its beneficial flow. Think of it like adding stones to a rushing stream. The water still flows, but it moves with more intention and less chaos. On a staircase landing, that flat space between flights of stairs, a snake plant creates a moment of pause, an energetic breath. As qi rushes up or down, it encounters the plant and briefly stabilizes before continuing its journey. This creates a more harmonious flow throughout your entire home. Staircases can sometimes create what's called cutting qi or attacking energy because of their sharp angles and rapid lines. A snake plant at the base or on the landing softens this harsh energy, making the space feel more welcoming and less aggressive. Here's how to implement this placement effectively. If you're placing the plant at the bottom of your stairs, position it to the side, not directly in the walking path. You want it close enough to interact with the energy flow, but not so close that it becomes a tripping hazard or obstacle. Many people find success placing the plant in the corner where the wall meets the first step, or slightly to the side of the lowest step. If your staircase has a landing or turn, this is actually an ideal placement spot. The landing is already a natural pause point in the energy flow. Adding a snake plant here amplifies that stabilizing effect. Center it on the landing if there's room, or place it in a corner if space is tight. Because staircases are high traffic areas, safety is important. Use a heavy, stable pot that won't tip over easily if someone brushes against it. Ceramic, stone, or concrete containers work well. The weight isn't just practical, it also symbolizes and creates stability. For a staircase, you typically want a medium to large plant. It needs enough presence to create a noticeable energy field, but not so large that it obstructs the path or makes the space feel crowded. A plant that stands 2 to 3 feet tall usually works well. To amplify the anchoring effect, consider adding these elements near your staircase. Snake plant, a soft, warm-toned area rug beneath or near the plant, adds a grounding element. It literally softens the hard edges of stairs and symbolically softens harsh energy. Choose natural fibers like wool or cotton in earth tones. Add a small table lamp, floor lamp, or wall sconce near the plant. Warm light creates a sense of presence and draws attention to the space, making it feel intentional rather than forgotten. The light also helps the plant photosynthesize if natural light is limited in your stairwell. These heavy dark stones are excellent grounding elements. Place one near the base of the plant pot. They symbolically nail down the energy, preventing it from escaping too quickly. What to avoid in staircase placement: never place the plant where it creates a trip hazard or narrows the walkway significantly. Safety always comes first, and energetically, blocking a pathway creates the opposite of good flow. Staircase areas often get neglected because they're transitional spaces, not destinations. Make a point to check on your staircase plant regularly. A neglected, dusty plant in this position can actually make the energy problem worse instead of better. The area around your staircase plant should be clean and clear. Don't let shoes, bags, or other items pile up around it. The plant needs breathing room to do its stabilizing work. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates the power of staircase placement. The Martinez family lived in a two-story home and couldn't understand why their household felt so chaotic. The parents worked hard, the kids were good students, but there was constant tension, constant rushing, and never enough time or money despite decent incomes. A Feng Shui consultant visited and immediately identified the problem. Their staircase created a direct energy line from the front door, up the stairs, and straight to a large window on the second floor. Energy was literally rushing in the front door and escaping out the upstairs window without ever settling in the house. The family's prosperity was flowing through without stopping. They placed a large snake plant at the base of the staircase and added a small area rug and warm lamp. They also hung a small crystal sun catcher in that upstairs window to refract and slow the energy there. Within weeks, the entire household felt different. The mother described it as finally being able to take a breath. The constant sense of rushing and chaos diminished. Arguments became less frequent. And interestingly, the father received an unexpected bonus at work, and they finally completed a home renovation project that had been stalled for 2 years. The kids even commented, without knowing about the Feng Shui changes, that the house felt more homey and less stressful. Your staircase might seem like just a functional architectural element, but it's actually a major energy highway in your home. Taking the time to anchor and stabilize that flow can create ripple effects throughout your entire living space, bringing more peace, prosperity, and harmonious energy to everyone who lives there. Now that you know where to place your snake plant, let's talk about something many people overlook: choosing the right variety and presentation based on your personal elemental energy. In Chinese metaphysics, everything in the universe is governed by 5 fundamental elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Each person has a dominant element based on their birth year, and understanding your element can help you select a snake plant setup that resonates specifically with your personal energy field. When your plant matches your element, it doesn't just work generically, it works in harmony with your specific energetic signature. The result is a more powerful, personalized effect. Here's how to choose your ideal snake plant configuration. If you're an earth element person, you're naturally grounded, reliable, nurturing, and practical. You value stability, security, and building things that last. You might sometimes struggle with overthinking, worry, or getting stuck in routines. For your best snake plant setup, choose snake plants with yellowish or lighter colored edges on the leaves. The variety Gold Honey or Laurenti Sai with its gold margins is perfect. Use brown, terracotta, or earth tone ceramic pots. These natural clay colors reinforce your elemental strength. Focus on the wealth corner and staircase positions to stabilize your natural tendency toward financial conservatism and help prosperity accumulate steadily. Add a small bowl of uncooked rice or dried beans near your plant to amplify earth energy. Why this works? Earth elements need grounding and stability, but can sometimes get too stuck. The golden accents in the leaves add a touch of metal element which supports earth, helping you maintain stability while still allowing for growth and change. If you're a wood element person, you're growth-oriented, ambitious, creative, and expansive. You're natural entrepreneurs and innovators. Your challenges might include impatience, overextension, or difficulty finishing what you start. Choose the classic deep green varieties with narrow, upright leaves like Sansevieria cylindrica or the standard Trifascata with solid green coloring. Use green pots, natural wood containers, or bamboo-style planters. Focus on your work desk and front entrance to support your ambitious projects and attract growth opportunities. Tie a green or brown ribbon around the pot or place small pieces of natural wood around the base. Why this works? Wood people need to channel their expansive energy productively. The vertical growth pattern of the snake plant mirrors your natural upward drive while helping you stay rooted and focused rather than scattered. If you're a water element person, you're intuitive, flexible, wise, and emotionally intelligent. You go with the flow and adapt easily. Your challenges might include indecisiveness, lack of boundaries, or difficulty taking action. Choose varieties with longer, thinner, more flowing leaves like Sansevieria fernwood or cylindrica varieties that have a more graceful appearance. Use blue, navy, black, or dark gray containers that evoke water's depth and mystery. Focus on the desk position and wealth corner to help ground your natural flow into concrete financial action. Place a small dish of water with floating tea lights near the plant. Why this works? Water people have excellent intuition about money and opportunities, but sometimes lack the grounding to capitalize on them. The snake plant's strong, stable structure provides the yang grounding you need while respecting your yin flowing nature. If you're a fire element person, you're passionate, charismatic, dramatic, and energetic. You're natural leaders and performers. Your challenges might include burnout, impatience, or difficulty with sustained effort. Choose more compact, structured varieties like honey, bird's nest, or shorter moonshine varieties. You need grounding, not more upward fire energy. Use red, burgundy, deep purple, or even coral-colored pots. Fire people can handle bold color choices that might overwhelm other elements. Focus on the altar space and bedroom vicinity, but not facing the bed, to help balance your intense energy with moments of sacred calm. Add a small piece of red jasper or carnelian near the pot to honor your fire while the plant helps modulate it. Why this works? Fire people burn bright, but can burn out. The snake plant's stabilizing energy helps you sustain your natural brilliance without exhausting yourself. The compact varieties prevent adding more upward yang energy when you already have plenty. If you're a metal element person, you're precise, organized, disciplined, and quality focused. You have high standards and excellent execution. Your challenges might include rigidity, perfectionism, or difficulty with emotional expression. Choose varieties with very straight, symmetrical leaves and sharp, clean lines. Black gold or Bantel's sensation with white vertical striping are excellent choices. Use white, silver, metallic, or geometric containers that reflect metal's precise nature. Focus on the entrance for protection and boundaries, and desk for enhanced decision-making clarity. Place a small, clear quartz crystal point or a piece of polished metal near the pot. Why this works? Metal people already have excellent structure and discipline. The snake plant reinforces these strengths while its living, organic nature gently reminds you to stay flexible and connected to natural growth rather than rigid perfection. Don't know your element? You can find free Chinese element calculators online using your birth year, or simply choose based on which description resonates most with your personality and life patterns. Trust your intuition. It's part of the process. When you align your snake plant choice with your personal element, you're creating a customized energy tool rather than using a generic solution. This personalization amplifies the plant's effect and creates a deeper sense of harmony between you, your space, and your prosperity goals. Now let's explore the care rituals that activate prosperity. going beyond basic maintenance. Here's something most people don't realize. Caring for your snake plant isn't just about keeping it alive. In Feng Shui practice, plant care is a ritual, a form of active meditation, and a way of programming your prosperity intentions into your daily life. When you water a plant mindlessly while thinking about your problems, you're feeding it problem energy. When you water it with intention, gratitude, and clear visualization of your goals, you're creating a completely different energetic exchange. Let's explore the 3 essential care practices that transform ordinary plant maintenance into prosperity activation rituals. Ritual 1 is intentional watering. The prosperity pour. Snake plants are drought tolerant and actually prefer to dry out between waterings. This means you'll typically water every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on your climate and season. But this timing is actually perfect for ritual practice. Before watering, stick your finger about 2 inches into the soil. If it feels completely dry, it's time to water. If there's any moisture, wait a few more days. This physical check is important. It connects you to the plant's actual needs rather than an arbitrary schedule. Don't just grab a cup of water from the tap and pour. Instead, prepare your water mindfully. Let tap water sit in a container for 24 hours to allow chlorine to dissipate, or use filtered water. Bring the water to room temperature or slightly warm. Cold water can shock the roots and symbolically represent shocking your prosperity flow. If you want to enhance the ritual, add a tiny pinch of cinnamon to the water. Cinnamon is associated with attracting money in many traditions, or let a small piece of citrine sit in the water for an hour before using it. As you pour water into the soil, visualize abundance flowing into your life with the same ease. See the water nourishing the roots and imagine prosperity nourishing your bank account, career, and opportunities. Speak a simple affirmation. As I nourish this plant, I nourish my prosperity. Wealth flows to me easily and naturally. Water thoroughly, but not excessively. You want the water to reach all the roots and then drain away, not sit in the pot. Symbolically, you're creating flow, not stagnation. Good drainage represents healthy financial flow. Money comes in, moves through your life purposefully, and creates growth without getting stuck. Many Feng Shui practitioners recommend watering prosperity plants on Thursdays, which is associated with Jupiter, the planet of expansion and good fortune. Or choose a time that feels personally significant, perhaps the day you receive your paycheck, as a way of symbolically multiplying that incoming wealth. Ritual 2 is the weekly leaf cleansing, clearing obstacles. In Feng Shui philosophy, dust isn't just dirt, it represents accumulated stagnant energy, blocked opportunities, and energetic heaviness. A dusty plant can't properly circulate qi or attract prosperity. This weekly ritual is one of the most powerful practices you can adopt. Monday mornings are ideal because you're setting the energy for your entire week. Sunday evenings also work well as a way to clear the old week and prepare for the new one. The key is consistency. Choose a day and stick with it. Use a soft, clean cloth slightly dampened with room temperature water. Some practitioners like to add a single drop of essential oil to the water, lemon for purification and clarity, or frankincense for spiritual connection. The scent should be very subtle, not overwhelming. Start at the base of each leaf and gently wipe upward toward the tip. This upward motion symbolizes lifting energy, raising your financial situation, and elevating opportunities. As you wipe each leaf, mentally or verbally state what you're clearing away. I release financial worry. I clear blocks to abundance. I remove doubt and welcome certainty. I cleanse obstacles from my path. As you clean, carefully inspect each leaf. Look for any signs of yellowing, damage, or pest issues. In Feng Shui, a problem with your prosperity plant is a message. Yellow leaves might indicate you're feeling drained or depleted. Pest problems might suggest someone or something is feeding off your energy or resources. Address both the plant issue and reflect on what it might be telling you about your life. If you find any dead, dying, or severely damaged leaves, Trim them away cleanly at the base using clean scissors. Don't let dead foliage remain on your prosperity plant. Dead leaves represent dead opportunities and blocked energy. Remove them with intention, saying, "I release what no longer serves me and make room for new growth." After cleaning all the leaves, take a moment to place your hand gently on the pot or near the plant. Don't touch freshly cleaned leaves. Express genuine gratitude. Thank you for protecting this space. Thank you for attracting abundance. Thank you for your steady presence in my home. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational frequencies and amplifies all prosperity work. This weekly ritual takes perhaps 5 minutes, but creates a powerful pattern. You're training your mind to regularly clear obstacles, inspect for problems, and maintain the conditions for prosperity. That mental pattern extends far beyond the plant into how you handle your actual finances and opportunities. Ritual 3 is the light and location check, maintaining optimal flow. Every month, take time to assess whether your snake plant is in the best possible condition and location. Conditions change, seasons shift, furniture gets moved, life circumstances evolve. Your prosperity plant setup needs to evolve too. Check whether your plant is getting adequate light. Snake plants are tolerant of low light, but they thrive in bright, indirect light. Look at the leaves. Rich, vibrant color with good contrast means happy plant. Good energy. Fading color or pale leaves means needs more light. Energy is weakening. Brown, scorched edges means too much direct sun. Energy is aggressive rather than supportive. Adjust placement or add a grow light if needed. In Feng Shui, light represents clarity, awareness, and illumination of opportunities. A well-lit prosperity plant helps you see and seize chances you might otherwise miss. Ask yourself, has anything changed about the room layout or function? Does the plant still feel right in this spot, or does something feel off? Is the area around the plant still clean and clear, or has clutter accumulated? Has the plant grown significantly and perhaps now feels too large or too small for the space? Trust your intuition. Sometimes a placement that worked perfectly for months suddenly feels wrong. This often happens when your life circumstances shift. You might need to move a plant from your wealth corner to your desk if you're transitioning from stability-seeking mode to active growth mode in your career. Stand back and look at the overall energy of the space. Does the plant look vibrant and healthy? Does the arrangement feel balanced? Is there good flow around the plant, or does it feel crowded or forgotten? If anything feels off, even if you can't articulate exactly what, make an adjustment. Feng Shui is as much art as science, and your personal energy reading of a space is valid and important. Once a month, check that the pot still has good drainage and hasn't become waterlogged. Lift the pot slightly. Does it feel surprisingly heavy? Might be holding too much water. Look at the drainage holes. Are they clogged? Proper drainage is essential both physically and symbolically. Even if everything looks perfect, take a moment to renew your intention. Place both hands near the plant, hovering above the soil without touching, and restate your prosperity goals. This can evolve as you achieve goals and set new ones. Thank you for your support as I grew my savings by $5,000. I now set the intention to increase my income by 20% this year. I welcome your continued guardianship. These 3 rituals, intentional watering, weekly leaf cleansing, and monthly location assessment, transform plant care from a chore into a prosperity practice. Each time you engage in these rituals, you're reinforcing your commitment to abundance, training your mind to notice and clear obstacles, and creating a tangible touchpoint for your financial intentions. The magic isn't in the plant doing something supernatural. The magic is in you showing up consistently with intention to care for something that symbolizes your prosperity. That consistency and attention naturally extends into how you handle your actual money, career decisions, and opportunities. Now let's talk about the hidden mistakes that sabotage your wealth energy. Even with the best intentions and perfect placement, certain mistakes can completely undermine your snake plant's prosperity power. Let's explore the 4 most common errors and why they're so energetically damaging. Mistake number 1 is the bathroom proximity problem. Bathrooms are necessary, but in Feng Shui they're energetically problematic. They're places where water, which symbolizes wealth, literally goes down the drain. They're associated with elimination and release, and they tend to accumulate stagnant, damp energy. When you place a snake plant near a bathroom, especially right next to the toilet or facing the bathroom door, the plant ends up absorbing all that draining, eliminating energy instead of prosperity attracting energy. Why this is so damaging? Your snake plant becomes an absorber of the exact opposite energy you're trying to cultivate. Instead of drawing in abundance, it's soaking up the energetic equivalent of financial drainage. Over time, this can weaken both the plant and your actual prosperity. People who keep prosperity plants near bathrooms often report that money comes in only to immediately go back out. They get a bonus and immediately have unexpected expenses. They feel like they're working hard but never getting ahead. The symbolic energy of the bathroom is too strong. The fix: move your snake plant to any of the 5 power positions we discussed earlier. The front entrance, wealth corner, altar, desk, or staircase are all far better choices. If you want a plant in your bathroom for air purification, choose something different. A pothos or fern works well, but keep your intentional prosperity plants away from spaces associated with drainage and elimination. Mistake number 2 is the bedroom energy disruption. Your bedroom serves a specific and sacred function: rest, recovery, intimacy, and regeneration. The energy should be predominantly yin, soft, quiet, receptive, and peaceful. The snake plant, with its sharp, upright, sword-like leaves, emanates strong yang energy, active, alert, protective, and dynamic. This yang energy is perfect for entryways, workspaces, and living areas. But in a bedroom, especially when the plant directly faces your bed, it can create restlessness, sleep disruption, and anxiety. Why this is problematic? Your subconscious mind processes the sharp, pointing leaves as energetically active or even aggressive. While you're trying to relax and sleep, there's this field of upward pointing energy that keeps part of your nervous system subtly activated. People who sleep near or facing a snake plant often report difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, active, stressful dreams, waking up feeling unrested despite adequate sleep time, increased anxiety or mental chatter at bedtime, and partners having more arguments in the bedroom. The fix: if you want plant energy in your bedroom, choose soft, round-leaf plants like pothos, philodendron, or even a small peace lily. These have gentler, more yin energy appropriate for sleep spaces. Keep your snake plants in the more active, public areas of your home where their protective yang energy is beneficial rather than disruptive. Exception: if your bedroom is also your home office or multi-purpose space, you can keep a small snake plant on your desk area, but position it so it's not directly facing your bed. Create visual and energetic separation between your work zone and sleep zone. Mistake number 3 is the oversized overwhelm. Bigger isn't always better in Feng Shui. Balance and proportion matter immensely. An oversized snake plant in a small room doesn't create more prosperity energy. It creates energetic pressure and overwhelm. When a plant is too large for the space, it dominates rather than supports. The energy becomes trapped and compressed instead of flowing freely. It's like trying to fit too much furniture into a small room. No matter how beautiful each piece is, the overall effect is claustrophobic and stressful. Why this undermines prosperity? Prosperity requires space to enter and flow. When your space feels energetically cramped and overwhelmed, there's no room for new opportunities, ideas, or abundance to enter. You might unconsciously start rejecting opportunities because you already feel at maximum capacity. People with oversized plants in small spaces often report feeling anxious or claustrophobic in their own home, overwhelmed by their financial situation even when it's stable, difficulty making decisions because they feel pressured, and avoidance of the room where the oversized plant lives. The fix: choose plant sizes appropriate to your space. Small rooms or apartments, 6 to 12-inch plants; medium rooms, 12 to 24-inch plants; large, open spaces, 24 to 36-plus-inch plants. The plant should feel like a natural part of the room's ecosystem, not like it's taking over. You should be able to move freely around the space without feeling like you're navigating around the plant. Stand in the room and look at your snake plant. Ask yourself, does this plant feel like it's part of the space, or does it feel like it's competing with the space? If it feels like competition, the plant is too large. Mistake number 4 is the neglect that speaks volumes. This might be the most damaging mistake of all, because it reveals a deeper issue. If you can't maintain a low-maintenance snake plant, what does that say about your commitment to prosperity? A wilted, yellowing, pest-infested, or dusty snake plant isn't just failing to attract prosperity, it's actively repelling it. In Feng Shui and in the psychology of symbols, a dying or neglected plant represents dying or neglected fortune. Why this is so harmful: your subconscious mind reads symbols, and it reads them constantly. When you walk past a struggling plant every day, you're subconsciously reinforcing the message, "I can't even care for something this easy. I don't follow through. I let things die." That message seeps into your prosperity consciousness in insidious ways. People with chronically neglected prosperity plants often report self-sabotaging financial behaviors, starting projects but never finishing them, feeling like a fraud or imposter regarding success, chronic procrastination on important financial tasks, and a general sense that nothing works for me. The fix: this requires radical honesty. If you genuinely cannot remember to check on and care for a snake plant once every 2 to 3 weeks, you have 2 choices. Set up support systems. Put plant care in your phone calendar with reminders. Create a Sunday evening ritual that includes checking all your plants. Ask a family member to be your accountability partner. Make it impossible to forget, or remove the plant. Honestly, if you can't maintain even a snake plant, having a dying one in your space is worse than having no plant at all. Remove it, give it to someone who will care for it, and focus on other Feng Shui principles that don't require ongoing maintenance. But here's the deeper invitation. Your relationship with your prosperity plant is a mirror of your relationship with prosperity itself. If you can't commit to consistent, simple care of a symbol of wealth, how can you expect to successfully manage actual wealth? This isn't about shame or guilt, it's about awareness. Use the plant as a diagnostic tool. If caring for it is genuinely difficult, investigate why. Are you overwhelmed in general? Depressed? Lacking basic systems and routines? Address the root cause, and your plant care will naturally improve, along with your financial behaviors. The snake plant is one of the most forgiving plants on earth. If you're struggling to keep it healthy, that's valuable information about what needs attention in your life. Now let's talk about amplifying your snake plant's power with 7 Feng Shui enhancement objects. While the snake plant is powerful on its own, combining it with specific Feng Shui objects can amplify its prosperity-attracting abilities significantly. Think of these objects as force multipliers. They don't replace the plant's energy, but enhance and direct it more powerfully. Enhancement number 7 is a small Buddha statue, the spiritual guardian of prosperity. Buddha statues, particularly the Laughing Buddha, Buddhai or Maitreya Buddha, and Guan Yin, goddess of compassion, are commonly used in Feng Shui to attract joy, peace, and protected prosperity. The Buddha presence creates a field of peace, contentment, and spiritual protection around your wealth area. This ensures that your prosperity comes with inner peace rather than stress, and that it's protected from envy or negative attention. Place a small Buddha statue next to your plant, but never behind it or hidden from view. The statue should be visible and honored. The Buddha should face into the room or toward the center of your home, not toward a wall or door. Laughing Buddha for joy, abundance, and removing obstacles, often depicted holding a gold ingot or surrounded by children and wealth symbols. Guan Yin for compassion, protection, and grace, particularly powerful for women or those who want prosperity to come through gentle, harmonious means rather than aggressive pursuit. Medicine Buddha for health-related financial concerns, medical bills, health business ventures. Place the statue at or above the height of your snake plant pot, never below it or on the floor. Use a small pedestal, coaster, or decorative cloth underneath if needed. This shows respect and elevates the spiritual energy. Some practitioners like to place small offerings near their Buddha statue, a tiny bowl of rice, a piece of fruit, or a tea light candle. This isn't required, but it deepens your relationship with the prosperity practice. Never place Buddha statues in bathrooms or bedrooms, facing bathrooms, or in any space that feels disrespectful. If you're not comfortable with Buddhist imagery, choose a different enhancement or simply use the statue as a reminder of peace and abundance without religious significance. You don't need all 7 enhancements to create powerful prosperity energy. Even 1 or 2 carefully chosen enhancements can significantly amplify your snake plant's natural wealth-attracting properties. Start with what resonates most strongly with you. Perhaps the citrine crystal calls to you, or maybe the simplicity of red envelopes feels right. Trust your intuition. The most powerful Feng Shui practice is the one you'll actually maintain with consistency and genuine intention. Remember, these enhancements work synergistically with your snake plant's inherent qualities. The plant provides the living, growing foundation of prosperity energy. The enhancements amplify, protect, and direct that energy according to your specific intentions. Together, they create a prosperity ecosystem that continuously works on your behalf, even while you sleep, even when you're not consciously thinking about it. As you implement these enhancements, pay attention to shifts in your experience. Notice opportunities that appear, conversations that lead to unexpected connections, ideas that arrive seemingly from nowhere, moments when money arrives from forgotten sources, and increasing comfort and confidence around financial matters. These are signs your prosperity field is activating and expanding. Maintain your enhancements with respect and regularity. Monthly check-ins work well. Cleanse your crystals, refresh your salt, dust your statues, and most importantly, reconnect with your intention. Speak your prosperity affirmations aloud. Thank your plant and enhancements for their service. Gratitude itself is one of the most powerful prosperity multipliers available. If you found value in this prosperity practice, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit. Prosperity consciousness expands when shared, not when hoarded. Teaching others about abundance activates the abundance teacher within you, and the universe rewards teachers generously. As you drift off to sleep tonight, visualize your enhanced snake plant glowing with golden green light. See that light expanding through your home, through your bank accounts, through your business, through every avenue where prosperity can flow to you. See opportunities opening, doors unlocking, pathways clearing. Feel the sensation of financial ease, of having more than enough, of being able to give freely because abundance flows to you constantly and reliably. Rest in that vision. Let it saturate your subconscious mind. As you sleep, your prosperity field is growing stronger even now, even as you rest. If you enjoyed learning about these ancient prosperity practices and want to explore more ways to harmonize your life with abundance, please subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell. We regularly share peaceful educational content about Feng Shui, crystal healing, prosperity consciousness, and practical spirituality, all designed to help you fall asleep while expanding your mind and attracting positive change. Leave a comment below sharing which enhancement you're most excited to try, or tell us about your own experiences with prosperity plants. Your story might inspire someone else to begin their abundance journey. And if this video helped you relax and learn something valuable, consider giving it a thumbs up to help others discover these practices. Sweet dreams, abundant blessings, and may prosperity flow to you as naturally as your snake plant breathes life into your space. Good night.